It carries 24,346 shipping containers. Stacked end to end, they would stretch from New York to Philadelphia. This is the largest vessel ever built by human hands. The MSC Irina was delivered in 2023 by Hudong Zhonghua Shipyard in Shanghai for Mediterranean Shipping Company, the world's largest container shipping operator. A vessel so massive it redefined what naval engineering considered physically possible. Length, 399.9 meters. Just short of 400 meters deliberately, to fit within port infrastructure limits worldwide. Width, 61.3 meters, wider than a 4-lane highway with sidewalks. Its engine produces 63,840 horsepower continuously. Fuel consumption reaches 250 tons of marine fuel daily at cruising speed. One voyage between Asia and Europe burns more fuel than most cargo ships consume in an entire year. The crew managing this floating city numbers just 22 people. 22 humans operating a vessel larger than 4 Eiffel Towers laid end to end. Loading one full cargo requires over 24,000 individual container movements. Port cranes work continuously for days before departure. A single voyage from Shanghai to Rotterdam carries enough goods to stock every supermarket in Switzerland simultaneously. And perhaps the most staggering detail, the MSC Irina was already outdated by newer vessels before completing its first full year of service. The biggest ship ever built. Already not the biggest anymore. It was built in the same year as the MSC Irina, same generation, same ambition, and it carries enough cargo to supply an entire country's retail sector in a single crossing. The OOCL Spain was delivered in 2023 by Samsung Heavy Industries in South Korea for Orient Overseas Container Line, one of Asia's most technically advanced shipping operators, part of the G-Class series representing the absolute pinnacle of Hong Kong shipping engineering. Capacity, 24,188 TEU. TEU means 20-foot equivalent unit, one standard shipping container. Stack 24,188 of them, and the pile reaches over 145 kilometers into the sky. Length stretches 399.9 meters. Identical to the MSC Irina. Not coincidence. That measurement represents the maximum physical length port infrastructure worldwide can currently accommodate. Its propulsion system uses a single massive manned 2-stroke diesel engine producing enough torque to rotate a structure the size of a skyscraper through open ocean at 22 knots continuously. OOCL's proprietary vessel management technology monitors over 3,000 individual ship systems simultaneously. Engine performance, structural stress, fuel consumption, weather routing, all processed in real time. Fuel efficiency per container transported exceeds any previous generation vessel by over 15%, moving more cargo while burning significantly less fuel. And perhaps the most remarkable detail, despite carrying 24,000 containers, its hull draft sits at just 16 meters below the waterline, an entire floating city, barely scratching the ocean's surface. It broke the 24,000 TEU barrier for the first time in shipping history. A number so large that engineers spent years debating whether building it was even structurally possible. The Ever Alot was delivered in 2022 by Samsung Heavy Industries for Evergreen Marine Corporation of Taiwan, the first vessel in Evergreen's fleet to surpass 24,000 TEU capacity, a milestone that redefined what the company and the industry considered achievable. Length, 399.99 meters. The closest any vessel has come to the 400-meter threshold without crossing it. Every additional meter beyond that point creates port compatibility problems that would ground the ship permanently in most major harbors worldwide. Its hull required entirely new steel composition calculations. At this scale, ocean wave flex creates structural stress forces that would fracture conventional shipbuilding steel within months. Special high-tensile steel alloys were developed specifically for vessels this size. The Ever Alot operates primarily on the Asia-Europe trade route. One round trip covers approximately 40,000 kilometers. At cruising speed, the journey takes roughly 5 weeks each direction. Evergreen painted its iconic green livery across a hull surface area exceeding 50,000 square meters, larger than 7 football fields combined. Container loading operations require 72 continuous hours of crane work before departure from major ports. And perhaps the most extraordinary detail, the Ever Alot generates enough bow wave displacement when moving at speed to capsize smaller vessels sailing too close. A ship so large it creates its own weather. When it launched, it was the largest ship on Earth. Every ocean it crossed, It crossed as the undisputed heavyweight champion of global shipping. The Ever Ace was delivered in 2021 by Samsung Heavy Industries for Evergreen Marine Corporation. Upon delivery, it immediately claimed the title of world's largest container vessel, with 23,992 TEU capacity, a record that stood for less than 12 months before newer vessels surpassed it. Part of Evergreen's A-Class series, the Ever Ace represented the company's aggressive expansion strategy following the catastrophic Ever Given incident of 2021, when a sister vessel blocked the Suez Canal for 6 days and paralyzed global trade simultaneously. Its engine room houses a single 2-stroke diesel engine spanning 4 stories of internal ship structure. Technicians access different engine components via internal staircases built permanently inside the machinery itself. Fuel tanks hold 18,000 tons of marine fuel per voyage. That single fuel load weighs more than the entire empty hull of most cargo vessels operating 20 years ago. The vessel's bridge sits 60 meters above the waterline. Officers navigating from that height experience a horizon extending over 30 kilometers in every direction. Emergency stopping distance at full cruising speed exceeds 7 kilometers. Full stop requires over 3 nautical miles of open water ahead. And perhaps the most sobering detail, at maximum cargo load, the Ever Ace displaces 220,000 tons of seawater. An object so heavy the ocean itself moves out of the way. In 2020, it became the largest ship on the planet. South Korea celebrated it as a national achievement. The entire global shipping industry stopped and took notice. The HMM Algeciras was delivered in 2020 by Hyundai Heavy Industries for HMM, South Korea's largest shipping company. Capacity of 23,964 TEU made it the undisputed world record holder the moment it left the shipyard. South Korea treated the launch as a moment of national pride, comparable to a space mission. Government officials attended the delivery ceremony. News coverage ran nationally for days. A cargo ship becoming headline news across an entire country. Its construction required over 300,000 individual steel plates welded together by 3,000 shipyard workers across 18 months of continuous construction. The shipyard operated 3 shifts daily without interruption. HMM deployed the Algeciras on the Asia-Europe route immediately after delivery. First port of call was Rotterdam, where it arrived carrying cargo worth an estimated $2 billion in commercial value. The vessel's anchor chain alone weighs over 600 tons. Each individual chain link weighs more than a family sedan. Onboard freshwater generation systems produce drinking water from seawater continuously. The crew never requires external water resupply during voyages lasting weeks. And perhaps the most remarkable detail, HMM was financially struggling when they ordered this vessel. Building the world's largest ship was their calculated bet on survival. The gamble paid off completely. This ship carries enough containers to stretch across a city if lined end to end. And in 2017, it broke a record no vessel had ever touched. But that's just the beginning, because this ship didn't just get big. It redefined what big meant for global shipping. Meet the OOCL Hong Kong, a massive container ship built by Samsung Heavy Industries for Orient Overseas Container Line, one of shipping's biggest names. It became the first ship in history to carry over 21,000 TEUs, more than 21,000 containers secured on a single voyage. Its deck stretches nearly 400 meters, longer than 4 football fields end to end. Fully loaded, it can carry enough goods to fill more than 10,000 trucks. And maybe the wildest part? One voyage moves more cargo than entire fleets did decades ago.